Hi YouTube, this is Mr. Poole. I'm going to talk a little bit about the church that I grew up having to attend from my early childhood to early teens. So I would go to Catholic Mass regularly, once a week, and then holy days and special occasions if there was weddings or an event, I would have to go to this church. And then inside the church was usually performed a mass where they remember Jesus' Last Supper, and they hold the host up and bless it, and then they'll have the wine and bless that, and it's believed that that turns into the body of Jesus and the blood of Jesus. And also there was a reverend there who was a accredited priest from the archdiocese that would regularly perform the ritual of the mass. And I would show up, and where you genuflect to the blessed host, which is up on the altar. You have to kneel, and then when you enter the church, you say the sign of the cross with the holy water, and then you're always respectful and quiet in the church. And during the mass, there would be an introduction, and then they would always follow the same, say this basically the same things every mass. It lasted approximately between 40 to 55 minutes. The beginning of the mass was usually they read the gospel, and then the priest or the reverend would get up on the podium, and he'd give a short talk about between 5 to 10 minutes on what the gospel, the reading was about from the New Testament. And then they would perform the ritual of the body and blood of Jesus, where they would bless the bread and bless the wine. And then the participants at the Mass would come up to the altar, and they would receive the host on their tongue, or sometimes they would drink the wine out of the goblet. And then everybody would say peace to each other. There'd be, everybody would turn around and say hello, peace to you, and they'd shake hands. And sometimes the masses, they'd have lots of music, so there'd be a guitar player or a piano player, or somebody would play the organ, or they would have a choir singing. And sometimes during the mass, the participants that would be the congregation would sing along with certain parts of the ritual. I spent between 50 to 70 hours on average a year attending a traditional mass in this building here. You'll see a Santa coming in, but if you look around and look at the architecture, see the walls and the statuary and the vestments that the man on the altar is wearing, other than the Santa. There's a gentleman with a robe and a white robe, and then they have usually altar boys or girls now. They'll help the priest perform the ritual in the mass. So that church there, that's where I spent a really lot of my time as a childhood. I spent hours and hours and hours in that church, listening to the priests and listening to the mass, and responding back or singing music. And I had to go because my parents were devout Catholics, and we had to go every Sunday or Saturday night. We would go to a mass. It was required of us as children. Up until the time I was in my early teens, then I stopped going and sort of went on my own. But this building inside here, it's sentimental to me, but it's a short video. If you just click on it and don't pay attention to the Santa. They never did that when I was there, but I guess they're doing that now, which is kind of funny. But look at the inside of the building, the architecture, and look at the man, see what that was where I spent hours and hours and hours of my life in that building. So I just thought I'd share this with you guys, since you're following along with me and I'm talking about these kinds of subjects. I just want you to know where I'm coming from. This is where I came out of for some of my own life. Thanks for listening. Bye.